Hey everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel. So I was thinking earlier this week that I wanted to I needed to do like a wrap up or like a recent reads or something, but my last recent reads was about like the books I read in June. And that's like 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago now. So that would be like a decent chunk of books to wrap up. So instead of like sitting there filming either multiple videos or one long video, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to take some of my favorite books of the summer and talk about those instead. I actually read like a lot of cozies or like books that continue a series, and I'm going to do a separate video about some of the cozies that I read, or like cozy mystery series that I started. So that should actually be coming out later this week. So I decided that I'm going to take some of my favorite books that were more like standalones and just talk about those in a video. So that's what this video is today, is some of my favorite standalones of the summer. Now, there were kind of slim pickings because, like I said, I read a lot of cozies or like books that continued a series, so I didn't actually read a ton of standalones, but here are my like 4, I guess, favorite books of the summer. So I'm going to kind of arrange these in like order of like least favorite of my favorites to like my most favorite book of the summer. So to start off, we are going to talk about Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This came out this summer in June, I believe. I didn't read it until I think July. So this book follows the Riva siblings in the summer of 1983. So this does follow in Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, one of the husband's kids. So, but like the husband of Evelyn Hugo, Mick, who is the father of the kids in this, it's like a very quick section of Seven Husbands. So it follows Mick Riva's children, and they are prepping for and like hosting their annual end of summer party. And so you follow like them getting ready for the party and like the events of the party. And then you also follow like kind of have like a like flashback to like Mick and their mom meeting and the kind of their life, their childhood, and like how the kids got to where they are today. So there are things that I did not like about this book. Basically, a lot of the actual events of the party I didn't enjoy because you get a lot of like unnecessary like character perspectives in it for me. But I really enjoyed the like flashbacks and kind of the sibling relationships that are illustrated in here between Nina and all of her siblings. There's like a half brother that's one of the characters. I really liked their relationship with the half brother because they could have kind of treated him differently and they didn't. I loved the relationship between the children and their mother. I thought that was very interesting. So there were a lot of things that I really did like about this. I think I ended up giving this like 3.5 or 4 stars. So it's not my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid by any means. I'm kind of feeling like I like Taylor Jenkins Reid's older stuff and not the stuff that is like centered around like a celebrity or celebrity families, fictional celebrity families. I like some of her older stuff that's more like the everyday person more, but I did enjoy reading it. I thought it was a fairly quick read. I read like a decent chunk, like 150, 200 pages in like one sitting. So it is very like readable. I mean, it's Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm always going to pick up her stuff. So not my favorite of hers, but it was still a really solid, good book. Then we have Layla by Colleen Hoover. I think I gave this like 4 to 4.5 stars. I didn't write down my star ratings, so I don't remember exactly what I gave them. They're all, it was like 4 stars on Goodreads. But man, this book. So this book follows Leeds and Layla. They meet at Layla's sister's wedding, and it's like love at first sight. They like it's like a whirlwind romance. And they meet, they end up like moving in together. Are they moving in together? I think they move in together. And they are in an accident. Like someday there's like a tragic accident. Basically, I don't want to say what happens. They're in an accident, and Layla ends up recovering physically, but like she's not been the same since the accident. And so Leeds decides that he's going to take her back to the place where they first met, this like bed and breakfast that they like, that where her sister got married. And like to hope, in the hopes that like, you know, she'll kind of like get back to her old self. And Leeds ends up meeting another guest at this bed and breakfast, and man, things happen. It is really good. I really enjoyed it. This is only my second Colleen Hoover, and like so far, I know that Colleen Hoover is somewhat, I don't want to say like controversial, because she's not controversial, but like I feel like people either really really like her or really really don't like her. And so far I'm in the like I really really like her camp. There's a little bit of like a paranormal type element to it, and it just read so quickly. And I found that with Verity, which is the other book by Colleen Hoover that I've read. It just like, it like captivates me. And there are some like twists that I didn't see coming. I loved like all of the characters. I thought they were like really good, well-developed characters. It's a good time. I can't really say too much because like I feel like the less you know, the better. But it was really good. Then we have Golden Girl by Ellen Hildebrand. Ellen Hildebrand is another of like my auto-buy authors. This is her newest book that came out this summer, again, also in June. This book follows Vivian Howe. She is killed in a hit and run accident on her like morning jog. And this happens in like the first chapter, so not spoilers at all. That's like basically like she has to die in order for the rest of the book to take place. So when she dies, she's taken into this, like, she's like in this kind of like in-between world, if you will. Like she's not like here on earth, but she's not like in heaven. Kind of like this in-between place. And she's given almost like I don't know, like, I don't remember what the phrase is in here. To the beyond, where she's assigned a person, which the person is kind of like a guide to kind of like help with the transition between like the earth, like here and like the afterlife. And she's allowed in this kind of like in between time, she's allowed to kind of like see what's going on Earth. She has 3 kids, and she's allowed to kind of like watch over them, kind of like see what's going on, how they're handling her passing. And she's given 3 nudges. So she's allowed to kind of like intervene in a not like super obvious way 3 times. And so you see her kids as they're trying to cope with her death and trying to figure out who hit her, what the cause of the accident was. You are watching her, like the entire book is her watching her kids, and it is like, it is so sweet. Like I cried. It like as you watch these kids, these young kids. I think the oldest is married, but like I feel like she's still somewhat young, and the youngest is still in high school. So they're young adults as they're coping with this loss of their mother, and it's sweet. I cried very easy to read. It was good. This one got 4.5 stars. The last book, which I'm pretty sure was my only 5-star read of the summer, because obviously I would talk about other 5 stars in my favorite books of the summer, is The Match by Sarah Adams. This book, there was nothing like super like revolutionary about it. It was just such a sweet story. And I loved it. I loved it. So in The Match, you follow Evie, who is, who works for, a like nonprofit, service that basically trains and matches service dogs to people in need. And Evie herself, like, she found this place to work because Evie herself has a service dog because I think she has epilepsy. I'm pretty sure she has epilepsy. So she has her own service dog and then started working for this company that, matched her with her dog. And she ends up meeting up with this single dad, Jake, whose daughter, Sam, has recently been diagnosed with epilepsy herself. And Sam, she's young. I want to say she's like 10 or 11. Like, she's like a preteen. And she kind of, she acts as her father to set up this meeting because she really wants this service dog. And so they end up at this like coffee shop or whatever, and Evie quickly realizes that Jake, the father, has no idea what's actually going on. And so like Jake's kind of on the defensive, like from their first meeting, and so they don't like each other at first, but then Jake comes around, decides that, you know what, we're going to go ahead and proceed with getting Sam this service dog. And so Evie and Jake and Sam end up spending a lot of time together while Evie works to find a match of a service dog for Sam, and then trains that dog, and they start to build a relationship, and it's just really sweet. One of my favorite things about this, aside from just like the relationship and the fact that there's dogs, like, hello, I'm a dog person, I have 3 dogs, is that it's just, I feel like it was very like a very natural progression. It wasn't like insta love, anything like that. They got to know each other, and they weren't like, going at it like full on making out or anything, like right from the get-go. Like, it was I feel like a very natural progression in their relationship. And unless I'm completely forgetting something, I don't think there was ever like any type of like sex scene, because you have Jake, who is very like cognizant of the fact that like he has a daughter, and he wants like a young daughter, and he wants like to set a good example for her, and to make sure that anyone that he introduces into her life is like there to stay because of the relationship that he has with her mother. So I just felt like it was very sweet. It was very easy to read, and it was just a good, cute romance to read in the summer, and I really, really enjoyed it. So those are my 4 favorite standalone books of the summer. Like I said, I will be talking about some of the cozies that I read in another video, hopefully coming out on Friday. So yeah, that is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.